I don't think marriage should be about money, but there are people in the world who seem obsessed with it. My sister-in-law, Selena, is one of those people. I never imagined that there would be any problems over an inheritance when my brother, who was a surgeon, passed away. My name is Mary Smith. I'm 31 years old, single, and work as a jewelry store manager. I love my job, but recently, I've been thinking it's time to settle down. My boyfriend proposed to me recently, and we're now engaged. We've already met each other's parents, and tomorrow is our big family meeting. We're both sets of parents and our siblings will be there. I have an older brother named Tyler, who is 8 years older than me. He's a surgeon at a general hospital in Tokyo, and from what I hear, he has a great reputation. On top of that, he's very handsome, and even as his sister, I can't admit he's got high-spec quality, smart, good-looking, and successful. Growing up, Tyler was always kind to me and spoiled me a little. When I told him about my engagement, he jokingly acted like he was my dad, saying, "I hope this guy is good enough for you. I won't accept anyone weird." I laughed and told him, "Don't worry, he's nicer than you." Tyler has been married for 4 years to Selena. She's beautiful, like a model, with sharp features and clear eyes. When they walk together, it looks like they're filming a drama. People even stop them on the street because of how good they look. Tyler is in love with Selena, so he doesn't mind that she quit her job or that she spends a lot of money on designer bags. He just lets her buy whatever she wants. One time, Selena skipped a family gathering she promised to attend because she wanted to go to a clothes store to buy something new. This happens often. She misses family events because of shopping for expensive things. At first, my parents and I tried to be understanding towards Selena. We thought maybe it was hard for her to deal with life because she's so beautiful. But over time, her behavior became harder to accept, especially because she canceled our family meeting again. Originally, she wasn't even planning to come to the meeting, which wasn't a big deal since only close family members were required. But once she heard the meeting was at a famous hotel with afternoon tea, she suddenly said, "I love afternoon tea at that hotel, so I'll come to the meeting." She could have gone to the hotel for tea on another day, but for some reason, she decided to join us only to cancel the day before, even though we had already booked everything for the full group. It felt so rude. I didn't mind if she didn't attend, but I was getting tired of always being at her beck and call. I tried to talk to my brother about it, but he's too soft on Selena. He just apologized, saying, "I'm really sorry she keeps doing this, but I'll talk to her, and I'll definitely be there tomorrow." What bothers me isn't just her selfishness, it's also the fact that my brother, a busy surgeon, has to constantly apologize, relay messages, and run errands for her. Selena became a full-time housewife after they got married, but she doesn't do any housework. She hires cleaners, and they usually eat out, so she isn't busy. Still, her schedule is always full of shopping trips for designer bags and clothes. The next day, the family meeting went smoothly. My boyfriend got my family's approval, and everything ended peacefully. It was a really nice meeting, or so I thought. That evening, I got a call from Selena. I was just letting her know the dinner went well when she suddenly started yelling at me. "It doesn't matter. You didn't need to tell me anything. I didn't ask for your report," she shouted out of nowhere. "Where are my scones and macarons?" Selena shouted at me over the phone. I was confused and thought, what is she talking about? I didn't remember her asking me to buy any sweets. I was about to ask her what she meant, but she interrupted me again, yelling, "Are you listening? Don't tell me you didn't buy them. You're so careless. Tyler, you and your sister are both so annoying." I tried to explain that I didn't think she asked for any snacks, but she kept yelling, "I told you I love afternoon tea at that hotel, didn't I? Since I couldn't go, it's only right for you to bring me something as a souvenir." I was still confused, but she continued, "If you didn't buy them yet, go get them now." I was really looking forward to it. I tried to reason with her, saying, "But we went there for a family meeting, not to shop for treats. If you wanted them so badly, why didn't you go?" You had the whole day free, but she just snapped, "Never mind," and hung up the phone. I felt so drained. I had been in a great mood after the family dinner, but now I was completely exhausted. I started to wonder how Tyler deals with Selena's constant mood swings. How does he manage to get any rest? Why did he marry Selena in the first place? Sure, she's beautiful on the outside, but she's so selfish on the inside. Maybe she was spoiled because of her looks when she was growing up. I'm really worried about Tyler, but I can't interface in his marriage as his choice. At least he supports my marriage too. The next day, while I was working at the jewelry store, I noticed someone familiar outside. It was Selena, and she was walking arm in arm with a man who looked to be about her age. Selena is 10 years younger than my brother, so her partner looked like he was in his late 20s. The two of them walked into the store, chatting intimately. I decided to greet them and said, "Oh, you're here." But Selena just laughed and said, "Oh my God, you work here? That's so funny." There was no hint of apology for how close she was with the man. Feeling nervous, I asked her, "Who's this guy?" Selena casually replied, "Oh, he's from my old modeling days." Even if they were old friends, I was shocked to see them arm in arm when she's married. While I was still trying to figure it out, Selena leaned over the glass counter and said, "Can you show me this diamond necklace? And this one, too? Do you give employee discounts?" She spoke so casually, as if nothing was wrong. I felt embarrassed and uncomfortable seeing her act this way, so I handed her the necklace and told her we don't offer employee discounts. That wasn't really true. Do offer discounts, but I didn't want to give one to the man she was with. Selena seemed a bit annoyed, but she still picked out 2 expensive diamond necklaces and bought them. As expected, the man paid for them. I couldn't stop wondering what kind of relationship they had. I hesitated, but I decided I should tell my brother what I saw. When I called Tyler that night, he sounded more stressed than usual. "Tyler, what's wrong?" I asked, feeling like something was going on with Selena, though I didn't tell him what I saw. He replied, "Oh, nothing. Mary, we're getting married soon, right? Are you saving up for the wedding?" "I'm saving, and I was wondering if you and Selena would like to join us next year." I told him about my wedding plans, but didn't mention Selena's behavior. He sounded unsure, and then said, "I have something to give you next time we meet. Let's meet at our parents' house soon." After that, he hung up without even waiting for my reply. I figured maybe he wasn't feeling well. Tyler's a surgeon, so he's always worried about other people's health but tends to neglect his own. He laughs and says it's just part of the job, but I can't help worrying about him. He's so busy with surgeries every day, and I'm not sure Selena is giving him the support he needs. Later, Tyler sent me an email with the schedule for the gathering at our parents' house. When I contacted my parents, they had received the same email. On the day of the family gathering at their house, I arrived to find my brother, Tyler, already there. It had only been a few days since I last saw him, but he looked worse than ever. I said, "Hey, what's wrong with your face? Haven't you been sleeping?" Both my parents and I were worried, so we asked him if something was going on. He just said he was busy with work. Right in front of my parents, I told Tyler what had been bothering me. The other day, Selena came to my store holding arms with a young man. "Is she cheating on you again?" Tyler sighed and said, "Her cheating isn't new. I've known about it for a while, but I've been too busy with work to pay much attention to it." My parents were furious, and come to think of it, Selena hadn't come to the gathering that day. It was probably her absence that allowed me to bring it up. I asked Tyler, "What's going on with Selena? Why isn't she here?" Tyler looked serious and said, "That's why I asked everyone to come here today. I have something important to ask you." What he told us next was shocking. We all looked at each other and asked him, "Tyler, is this true? Are you sure?" No matter how many times we asked, his answer stayed the same. 3 months later, my brother passed away. He has stomach cancer, likely caused by stress and overwork. It made sense had been working hard every day, performing surgeries and being on duty as a doctor. But when he came home, instead of getting support, Selena didn't even do housework or care about him. Tyler knew something was wrong with his body. He had undergone tests because of his discomfort and found out he had cancer, but he didn't tell us until it was too late. I wished he had told us sooner. Why did he always keep everything to himself? I cried at his funeral, feeling so helpless. Memories of my brother from when we were children kept running through my mind. My brother had always supported me, even when I struggled in school or didn't do well in my club activities. He passed away so young, not even 40 years old. I was heartbroken, grieving, and unsure of what to do with all these emotions. But there was one person who seemed completely out of place: Selena. At the funeral, despite her husband's passing, Selena showed up wearing the diamond necklace she had bought from my store, the one paid for by another man. It was flashy and completely inappropriate for a funeral. I was disgusted. How could she? Anger took over my sadness, and I grabbed Selena. Why are you wearing that? Don't you know how much my brother cared about you? Selena, always in a bad mood, just smiled at me and said, "What are you talking about?" Of course, I know. He was such a burden. It's normal for people to treat me differently. If you don't like it, don't marry me. But don't say that in front of my brother. Both my parents and I were holding back our anger. I couldn't believe the words coming out of her mouth. I wished she would just disappear, but she kept going. He was never home because of work. We were over as a couple. But there's one good thing about being married: he get his inheritance, and I can't enjoy it for the rest of my life. Hearing that, I lost control and tried to slap her, but a man suddenly stopped my hand. He then introduced himself. "I'm Ines. I worked with Tyler, and he told me to protect you." I was confused by what he said. Then I noticed laughter around me. It was a funeral, yet some of the guests were laughing. I turned and saw that the people laughing were nurses and doctors who had worked with my brother. I asked the man why they were laughing, and he said, "Your brother didn't leave any inheritance, did he? Your family would know." It was true, my brother hadn't left any money behind, but Selena, who didn't know this, went crazy. What do you mean? Stop lying to me. You're going to cheat me out of the money and split it among yourselves, aren't you? Selena was excited about inheriting Tyler's money, since he was a surgeon in Tokyo, but when the nurses heard her, their laughter turned into hysterical laughter. My father stepped in and asked her, "You really don't know?" Confused, Selena demanded an explanation, so I told her the truth. Tyler had already given away his money before he passed, leaving me and his friends a large portion. He had given me 10 million yen as a wedding gift, and he often spent large amounts on extravagant events to cope with the stress from work and home. The more I explained, the more Selena's face turned pale. Tyler was a brilliant, hardworking man, but he spent a lot of money to unwind. He didn't bother anyone and didn't go to shady places, but he frequently hosted grand parties for the people who supported him. He would rent cruise ships and stay in luxury hotels, things he probably would have liked to do with Selena, but she was never there when he needed her. Instead, his co-workers and friends stood by him. The nurses, who had burst out laughing earlier, began talking, even though he was always busy. He took care of us and invited us to parties no other doctors would. Those parties made us feel special, like celebrities, and gave us motivation to keep working, even during tough times. Tyler had also donated the rest of his estate to the hospital. The hospital's leadership came to his funeral to express their gratitude, because his donation helped them with their research funding struggles. He had been so kind to many people, but Selena, who should have been closest to him, started yelling at his colleagues, "We don't have kids, so I'm supposed to get all of it, right? What are you doing taking his money from me? You're thieves, you all owe me every penny." With those words, she stormed off. 4 months later, Selena called me. "Wait, what do you mean?" she said angrily. As soon as I answered the phone, she had been trying to claim a living from us and Tyler's colleagues while sorting out his other assets, like the mansion she now lived in. That's when she found out Tyler had a large amount of debt. Even though 20 million yen might not sound like much for someone like him, all of it was already gone. Selena, who wanted the mansion, had gone through the inheritance process without checking the details. Now, she was panicking. "We're family, right? You'll help me, won't you?" she asked. My answer was simple. Tyler is gone, so we are no longer family. If you had been kind to my brother, maybe I'd help you, but after all your selfishness, how can you ask me for anything? Selena started panicking on the phone. "Wait, does that mean I inherit both the mansion and the debt? If I give up the inheritance, I'll have nowhere to live." I told her calmly, "Yes, inheriting also means taking on debt. Besides, you only have 3 months after learning about the inheritance to reject it. Why don't you sell all the fancy things you've been collecting?" Selena cried at my words and kept apologizing for everything she had done, but I just hung up. After my brother passed away, we decided to delay my wedding by a year. My husband and in-laws saw how sad I was and said it was okay to wait a little longer. I knew my brother would want me to be happy, so I didn't want to stay sad for too long. I wished he could have been at my wedding. I promised to live my life supporting the people who are there for me, just like he did. At the wedding, many of my brother's colleagues came to pay their respects and visit his grave. I had been worried that all the money he spent on others would lead to problems, but no one was concerned about that. They came because they truly cared about him. Even after he passed away, I respected my brother more and more every day. As for Selena, it looks like she's headed for bankruptcy. Since I work at a jewelry store and know people in the industry, I hear a lot of rumors. Lately, everyone's talking about how Selena is selling back the jewelry she bought, not just at my store but at others too. Apparently, she's been involved with several men around 20. In fact, and some of them are married. She might end up having to pay alimony to their wives. Selena had to sell her mansion and is now living on the second floor of a restaurant, working 3 part-time jobs. But despite all this, her debt isn't going down. With her spending habits, it's no surprise. My brother spent money on people who were kind to him, but Selena only spent money on herself. In a way, I guess they were a good match when it came to spending. Still, I know it's wrong to marry for money. I'll always protect my brother's memory, just like he protected me.